Hello, today I'm going to tie a Mary Nymph for you. I'm going to use a tiemco 2499 spear point barbless hook coupled with a 1.5mm copper tungsten bead. Just put the fly in the vise, fly hook in the vise should I say. I'm using pearl silk. It only comes in white, but I find it extremely strong. You can get away with quite a lot, and it's very thin. Cast that onto the hook. I like to just build a little bit behind the bead, stop it shaking round. Once I've got that on, take it away. Now for the tail of this fly, I'm going to use Coq de Leon. You get a tiny little packet of this. It's about £7. It's not so cheap, but it is very good. As a substitute you can use grizzle cape, but I prefer to use this. I only use 4 or 5 strands, and I'm going to just put a couple of holding loops just to get it in the position I want. Now you can see that's obviously too long, but with the pearl silk it's very simple to just pull it through to get the length you'd like. We'll trim that away, and I'll just go over that a little bit with the thread. Just use my finger to keep it where I want it. Now before I add any more into this, what I'm going to do is just take the thread round the bend of the hook and pop it up. Now what this does is it splays out the Coq de Leon, and you get a nice effect on the tail. Next thing to go on then is the rib. I'm going to use a medium copper wire, so just lash this on. Like so. And I'm going to use 2 fibres of pheasant tail. Now you can see this bit at the end. I find it's very difficult to get tied in and quite awkward to work with, so I'm just going to snip that away, and then I'll attach my pheasant tail. There we go. Now you can use hackle pliers, but quite good quality fibres here, so I'm just going to use my fingers to bend this, touching turns around the body. Just keep making sure you're not having any of the white thread showing through. As you get near the head of the fly, one turn just to hold it into place, and then I can lock that down. I'm going to use the scissors to snip away the excess here. I've seen some people, they just snap it off. I find the fly just disintegrates when I do that, so I always use the snips. Bring the copper wire, nice even turns, and you're looking for about 2 turns before it's going to be hidden by your thorax and your wing covering. Again, one turn over, I'll just lock that down with a couple of turns. You can then simply twist the wire until it comes away. Now at this point I like to add a little bit of wax to the thread, and that helps in a number of ways. For the casing, I'm going to use some mylar. It's a very thin strip, and if you don't wax the pearl silk, it can be very difficult to get trapped into position. I'm just going to run the thread back for as long as I want the the thorax to be. You don't need very much. I'm using natural grey squirrel, and I'm just going to dub that on, and it'll attach itself to the waxed thread much easier. Turn that over, just work that all the way around right up to the end. Now, as I said, the thread only comes in white, but I'm going to use a power marker and just colour in the thread. I don't want any white showing on this fly. Once that's done, bring your wing casing over, excuse my fingers, and I'm going to lock that down with just a couple of light turns. I don't want to pull anything tight just yet, because it's very strong, this thread, and what can happen, and has happened to me on several occasions, is it just cuts through and suddenly your casing springs back and you've got nothing to work with. Just tidy this up a bit. Then pull it over another couple of turns, and at this point you can pull it tight. Sometimes it will spin. If that happens, simply correct it with your fingers. You can use a whip finish tool, of course. I prefer to use my fingers. I never quite learned how to use a whip finish tool, but this works just as effectively, and because it's quite heavily waxed, there's no need to use any varnish. Just as a finishing touch, I've got a little bit of velcro here wrapped around the lollipop stick, and I just use that to tease out a few of the fibres. And once that's done, the fly's good to go. Makes an excellent dropper if you're fishing the duo. Thanks for watching.